Hey, so welcome back to the channel, and today I'm interviewing my homeboy Rafa at Alliance Jiu-Jitsu in Greenville, South Carolina. This guy is world known. He is a world champion. Alright, so check this out. We'll go in here, interview him, learn about him just like we did the other two videos, and we're going to knock this out today. So like I always say, slap, bump, and roll, let's get it. I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Elevator Watches. You get 15% off when you use the coupon code CHEZ15. That's right, CHEZ15. You get 15% off your entire order. You can also enter to win free watches for a year when you go to their website, elevatorwatches.com. Alright, so tell me who you are.
My name is Rafael, from Batuba, the coast of São Paulo in Brazil. I have been training Jiu-Jitsu since I was 13 years old. I'm 36 now, about to be 37 next week. And
happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. And yeah, and then I have been involved with Jiu-Jitsu since young age. I guess I would describe myself as Jiu-Jitsu practitioner or Jiu-Jitsu lover.
Hey, that's what you want to go with. That's what we're going to go with. So, what made you get into the Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, let's make that a long, short story.
Okay. Hey, we got time.
Yeah. So it was out of nowhere. It's like I always love sports. Like come from Brazil. Of course, soccer was the first exposure. Then I did some capoeira after that. And then later on I ended up find surf. And surf probably was my first love sport that I really enjoyed doing. I would stay in the ocean like from 9 a.m. to noon, come back home, like eat bolognese with bread and then Coca-Cola, go back to the ocean, stay there till 5 and come back. So that would be my lifestyle. I've missed half of the year in the 5th grade because of surf. I would go tell my mom I would go to school. And then I would end up going surf, putting my surfboard behind the wall, and we would go and surf. And at school one time, I would call home and say, "Where's Rafael? Has been here half of the year." And then my mama called me up, and then yes. So that was my first love, ended up surfing. And then as I was surfing, I ended up cutting my leg, and then I had 17 stitches, and I was only 12 back then. And then my mama told me no more surf because she thought it was very dangerous. And then I was on the ocean by myself. She got very scared, so she told no more surf. And then I had to find something else to do, So I ended up finding a taekwondo school near in downtown of Batuba. And then I trained there with the professor named Cristiano. And I got my yellow belt. I took a test for my yellow belt, but then he has to move out of my city to go to college in another city. So I ended up I passed, but I never ended up getting my yellow belt in taekwondo. And then the next day I have to find something else to do. So I ended up to this Jiu-Jitsu school. I never heard of Jiu-Jitsu back then. It was not very, I would say it was not popular at all in my city. And then I watch one night, I come back home. I was very, let's say, maybe cry baby, maybe. I'm not sure if that's a word, but when comes my mom and told her, like, crying, I want to start tomorrow. Because she said, no, let me go see, take the time to see what it is. And then we're thinking about signing up. But I told her, I want tomorrow. And then I guess I'm the only child, maybe little spoiler. She went to the store to me the next day, buying the gi. I ended up signing up at the gym and never stopped.
So I've seen, my personal experience, I've seen kids that come in class and they're a little timid, they may have been bullied, and 6-7 months later, it's a whole different kid. So have you noticed that also? 100%.
I have a lot of kids in here actually, because if you're thinking about sometimes when you do extra sport from outside the school, that's something I noticed. Because in school usually there's a lot of sports for the kids to try. But the most athletic kids, sometimes they don't end up doing any sport. And then I probably get more of those kids who doesn't do much sport in school get into Jiu-Jitsu. So you can see they're sometimes not the most athletic kids, but then we build them up. And then through Jiu-Jitsu, having some fun parts, have some value conversations about self-defense, and always bringing their best quads out of them. I believe builds confidence. I want to speak for myself. 13, when I started that teenager age, is where you kind of confused with everything, and then your security, all that kind of stuff towards girls, because now you're growing up, and then you kind of feel a little shy, and then have something that would make you have to give your best ability, builds you up. I remember I would go to competition, win a medal, And in the classroom, the teacher would, clap hands for me. So come from a ghetto family, you know what I mean? Not much opportunity I had, and have those people cheer on for me. Of course, as a 13-year-old, you feel like, man, this is some cool feeling with this, you know what I mean? So then you pursue to do more and have more of that feeling, So I think that's the power of doing something that builds you up,
I totally agree with that. Because like I said, I've seen, many of kids come in and just...
Yeah.
Because Jiu-Jitsu is just one of those funny things, because if you see the typical person that does Jiu-Jitsu on the street, you don't think this person...
there's any kind of fight or...
No. But then when you see them like in the gym, it's like, okay, this guy actually outranks me.
Yeah.
And like he looks...
He's a beast.
Yeah. And there's always guys you don't think of that train that are actually like great on the mats.
Yes, true. Yeah, very true. And I guess Jiu-Jitsu is a very intellectual sport, so you actually have to think more than overpower anything, especially in the beginning when your technique is very raw. You don't have other choice besides learn the technical aspect, or you're always going to end up find somebody else who's more technical than you, and you're going to get stuck. So you have to, I would say, give up on the attributes you have to learn the technical aspect, otherwise you're always going to hit that wall and never get better, remember? So that's something you're going to get exposed to, the technical ability. And then to get at the technical ability, you have to slow down and, okay, where I'm at. What move should I make now? You know what I mean? And then you move on from there. So now you stop, you have to think about something, you know what I mean? And then thinking make you be more efficient, and be more efficient, make you less tired, make you more aware of scenarios, make your vision more clear towards what's going on.
Alright, so tell me about your wife.
Yeah, so she and I have been together since 2000. She was actually reminded us today, actually this morning, that we are getting close to get 20 years together, and I was like, it's been a long time, yes. She, in the beginning of our relationship, she never really trained Jiu-Jitsu. She always was supportive with me and everything else. And then she ended up trying Jiu-Jitsu a few years ago. She got to blue belt, but she ended up losing a little interest, and she's not doing Jiu-Jitsu anymore. We've been together for a long time. She's one of the most supportive persons, you know what I mean? Especially for someone who was not doing back then, still, embrace that Jiu-Jitsu lifestyle that I was carrying, because, I don't know, it's hard to say, but I feel like I'm a little obsessed with Jiu-Jitsu. I breathe Jiu-Jitsu every day. If somebody else should follow those steps, has to be a person who cares about you, Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
I mean, my wife was fully supportive, but I was like, "Hey, let's go to the match." She's like, "No."
Yes, yeah, it's hard.
No. So I was like, "What if you get attacked?" You're always with me.
Awesome.
So match you've had, because people say a lot of people say, you have a fight coming up or something like this. But me and being in love with Jiu-Jitsu is always a match. It's not really a fight, because I consider a fight is hand to hand getting punched.
Yeah, 100%.
So, what is your most memorable match you've had?
It is hard, because I fought so many good guys, you know what I mean? And then every match was memorable, you know what I mean? From mass war to, to adult division, I think one of the opponents that's the hardest for me to always battle, and then he's really good, is Rafael Formiga, from Soul Fighters. I fought him, I think, 4 times. I don't think I have beat him once. And then every match was so close, or got so close to beat him. And probably those ones the memorable, because he was always in the way of my winning, So I would say his probably was a hard one. And then, of course, have beat Samuel Braga, who's world champion. My curriculum is good, have beat some guys like Daniel O'Brien, who's did the ABI. Fought him Nogi and Gi. He beat me once too, so it's some good match there. Who else I can think of? I don't know, so many. Leandro Loa, I fought with him too at the World, so it was a good challenge too. He beat me, I believe it was 3-4 passes he did on me. It was crazy. Jiu-Jitsu, was crazy. But it was a very good match, It was good to see. I was probably at my best form, you know what I mean? I thought I could do it, and then he was just, and he ended up being the champ of the division, so, no shame in there, but it was some good match there. So many to list,
So, yeah, because you've had quite a few matches.
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, you won in Pan Am, right?
Yeah, I got third in Pan Am's 2 times, 2013, 2015, I believe.
Okay.
And then the Worlds I got a second, Mass Worlds 2015 and 2017.
Okay, and then so what brought you here to train?
Well, Billy had the school here for a long time, and then he used to work with both the conditioning class and then the Jiu-Jitsu class. And then he was just got too busy with the conditioning class, And then he was going back and forth to Atlanta to train with Jacaré as well to maintain his training, you know, and learn from somebody. And then he was getting tired, I guess, of the trip and have to deal with the school and doing all the together. You know, Atlanta is not very close to go so often. You know, he would go 3 times a week. And then he has Cobrinha, who was there teaching at the time. Cobrinha, you know, 6 times world champion, if you know him. He was teaching at Jacaré school. And then he asked Jacaré if Cobrinha knew someone in Brazil. And Cobrinha emailed me, asked if I want to come here to teach Jiu-Jitsu at Billy's school. Was a very good opportunity for me. I say yes, and here I am 10 years later.
Oh wow, I didn't know it had been 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years, yes. Wow. 2008, well, a little over 10 years now. 2008, May 2008, and now we are 2019.
Yeah, because
so almost 11 years.
Yeah, because the first time I met you, it was the Alliance Center, and it was upstairs.
Yes.
And that was a crazy day.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a crazy day because y'all were going. I was used to Muay Thai and seeing how hard y'all were going in there. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this stand up. Yes. And like as years progressed, as I got older, I was like, you know, being on the ground is not that bad.
It's not that bad, yeah.
No.
It's not that bad. Especially if you're learning how to relax and just let it go and, you know, work through technique, yes.
Because I tell a lot of
people.
There's
no rush.
To a lot of people that they say, you know, they ask me, it's like, you know, I can't believe you're on the mat, you know, you're doing this. I was like, but that gets rid of my anxiety. I like the stresses 100%. Of life. You get on that mat and you don't think about anything
else beside the situation that you have to deal with. Yes, 100%.
Because you're talking 5, 6, 7 minutes of some guy trying to choke you out, or some woman trying to choke you out, and you have to get out of that scenario.
Yeah, that scenario, yes. And
So what would you say to somebody that wants to start jits, but you know they're scared to come in?
I would say try to find a good school first. You know, make sure to do some research. I would say so research, right? The right word, research, and then try the class. You know, see if that place fits you. You know, and patient. I would say. You know what I mean. Don't rush. Try to leave all the ego you may have on the mat. You know what I mean. And be willing to learn. You know what I mean. Ask questions. You know, don't be afraid of asking questions. You're there to learn. You know. Don't feel like you're out of the loop because you may feel like you're behind on techniques or behind in the warm-up, behind in the drills, you know what I mean? So don't feel like you slow down nobody because you're there to learn just like everybody else. The black belt was one day the white belt who did not stop, you know what I mean? So don't be patient, I would say.
Definitely. So when somebody says they're okay, so everybody gets nervous about their match that's coming up. Do you still get nervous? I get
very nervous, you know. Sometimes between matches I have to go to the bathroom, look myself in the mirror. You can't do, you're training so hard, you know what I mean? You're being trained with the best guys, you know, Alliance 12 times world champion. You just can't do it, you know. And then I believe that's what I enjoy, is that because you learn so much about you when you have to deal with those challenges, I would say, you know. Like you are exposed, you know, like everybody's watching you. Not that everybody's watching you, you're not, you know, the sharing the pie, you know, but it's like you were exposed to a loss there, and then it never feels good to lose something, you know what I mean? And I think our nature is never adapt to a loss. You know, it's hard. You do it, but I don't think you accept it, right? So I think that challenge of being there, face your fears, you know what I mean? Like, try to put yourself back up, you know what I mean? Like, you're the only one responsible for making things happen, you know? So it's on you to make those decisions at that time, you know what I mean? So you have to make the best decision at some pressure time, you know? So that deals with the nerves, and then you learn how to stay calm under that pressure, and I believe that goes for everything, you know? Deal with people, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to have some people who are, you know, more laid back than the others, or one more, you know, like maybe douche person, you know what I mean? Then you have to deal with that kind of personality, you know what I mean? If you have a good, calm and sense of understanding because you have been dealing with pressure, you can kind of stay calm under that person who may be bothering you or something, you know what I mean? So for self-defense, I think it's worked perfect too, you know what I mean? Instead of stressing out and stress more the person who's being aggressive, you know, you calm down the person, I mean? I think the best way is just try to stay calm under pressure.
Yeah. I mean, because, hearing from you that you still get nervous means a lot to me.
Yeah, it's of course.
Because I know before every match, I'm just like, oh, I'm good, and then I'm not good. Yeah. And it's just that up and down, like, let's get it. Then it's kind of like, oh, what am I doing?
I think it's only a few people who really manage that fear really well. And I don't know, Marcelo Garcia seems like he never get nervous. Roger Grace seems like he never get nervous, you know what I mean? But I think a lot of competitors still get nervous, you know? But I think it's just a matter of dealing with that and make sure I would say confidence comes from what you have done. You know what I mean? I think it does go for everything. So if you know you have done everything, it's nothing to fear. And then usually what I tell my students who want to compete to where they are not professional at this, I tell them, hey, look, you're not like, you know, Leandro Lo or, you know, Marcelo Garcia, so nobody gonna expose you in a picture, say they beat you. You know what I mean? So you know, you don't have to worry about you being exposed to TV news in Greenville. You know what I mean? That you lost to someone. You know, so relax, and I mean, you're gonna be fine. You know?
Yeah.
That's usually what I say.
Because there's always that feeling of. I was explaining this to my friend. I was like, you know, it's this pressure that's on you, and you feel so scared. But once you cross that line or you step on the mat, it just
goes away. Yeah.
And it's like a calming effect, and it's such a weird feeling.
It is. It is. You gotta do it to describe. It's very hard to describe. Yes.
And everything is just silent for a little while, and everything comes back at you.
Yes, and then it's fun because sometimes the time can go against you or on your favor. You know, like sometimes when you're winning, the time sounds like forever. You know, when you lose, you like go fast. You know, it's like, oh my gosh. You know, so yes.
Yes. Check this out. That was me with Rafa. You heard what he said. He's actually been training since he was 13. I didn't know that, but it was good knowledge to know. But anyway, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna introduce you to my buddy, Georgie.
Hey guys.
He has a channel that does what?
I post jiu-jitsu techniques every week.
Every week, that's right. Check his channel out. And the link will be in the bottom of this video. So when you go to this video and you go to the next video and the next video, his link is always gonna be at the bottom. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna plug him on my channel every time I make a video. Georgie and Logan, right?
Yep, George and Logan Jiu-Jitsu.
George and Logan Jiu-Jitsu, that's right. And don't forget, I'm still giving away that gi when I hit 200 subscribers. I train, so go to that video with Chuck Cawthron's gym and type in I train at the bottom. When I hit 200, you're getting that gi. And that gi is super nice. Is it right? Is it nice?
It's a nice gi.
I tell you, that's another jiu-jitsu guy. He's gonna tell you that gi is pretty awesome. But anyway, like I always say at the end of my videos, slap, bump, and roll, and follow this man right here.